how much it weighs. Ooh, we should do another contest. How much does Steph's purse weigh?
Yeah, that would be a good one.
That would be fun. Do we have a scale here?
Yeah.
Probably. What? Do you want to hold it? Right?
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Don't say Lord's name in vain. Pick me a thingy. 'Cause we're on YouTube.
Oh, we're on YouTube?
Yeah,
Oh.
we've been on YouTube.
Oh.
You're over
I'll
here
take the
eating.
one off the top.
Again, well, this is the same one you picked on Friday. But you know what? I was kind of digging it anyways. This one is Skip the Gym by Al May. It's pretty sweet. And cool.
that's been an overriding theme going on lately.
has
Skip
been.
the gym.
Do you think the gyms will open on Friday?
Maybe that's
Anyone
why I keep
watching on YouTube?
Maybe it's a, what is it, a subliminal deal
Ooh,
that I'm
maybe
picking
it's
that.
a sign.
Yes.
That the gyms are going to be
Well,
skipped?
they say they're going to be open here pretty soon, but who knows? We have stupid on parade going on.
But if they're not and you're looking for a great arm workout, you can come and lift my purse.
Yeah.
It'll definitely beef you up.
Yeah, you should charge a monthly fee to come over and lift Stephanie's purse. That'll
Right?
get you in shape quicker than anything.
I know. I wonder how much it weighs, though. No wonder why my back always hurts. Totally makes sense. Really? Like 20 pounds? No. What are you going to say? You got to make a guess, too. You're not going to win anything, but 15 pounds? 10? I'd say 14. But you know, I'd have a water bottle in there, so I got to take. But water bottle's always in there. So when I weigh it, do I leave the water bottle in there?
Yes, as you tote your.
All right. I'm going to say like a good 14, 15 pounds. Anyways, whenever you're ready.
At least.
You're welcome to check out, bro.
Oh, do you want me to?
That'd be funny.
I don't know why. See the crap I do? Okay, sorry. I had to get in character. So stupid.
There's that funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday live at 5 on Facebook Live and YouTube. Kicking off a brand new week on a Manic Monday. Of that on the, I mean,
Things we never prepare for. How we're going to intro our show.
yes, it's always an adventure. Again, you got to watch the segments on if you really want to break from all the mundane draw.
And you want a good arm workout.
Yes, and on that, well, don't give away the secrets on that.
Just saying.
Of
If they
that.
want a good arm workout, they need to go to the YouTube. Watch it.
You got to tune into the YouTube. The segments we do before we come on Facebook Live, I think, are some of the
Right now,
well, they're
Roy's
some of the
doing
most
Kegels.
bizarre ones on on the docket on that. But can't stop eating blueberries.
I know. Stop eating on camera. We had this discussion before we come on.
Well, you see how good I pay attention.
You just don't listen. You're like my children.
Lots of well, they say we never grow up.
Amen.
On
Oh,
that.
crap. Really?
Yeah, there really wasn't nothing that went on this weekend, was there? It was pretty quiet. News day, everything's hunky dory.
Yeah, there was a lot of fireworks. People
yeah,
celebrating.
that's one thing about. I mean, I've said it over the years, especially where we live in Moreno Valley, California, but probably all across Southern California. I said the natives put on a much better fireworks display than any as the professional ones. So why spend the money? And they've been. I mean, for whatever reason, I don't know if they're just bored or because of the whole lockdown situation or don't have anything to do. But, man, they are getting some really, really, really good firecrackers because the kabooms this year, I think, are much louder from the natives than they ever have been before.
They're terrifying sometimes. Especially when you're laying in bed and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like, what was that? But I think they're cool. I know a lot of people don't like them, and sometimes it's annoying because my dogs get scared or the kids freak out a little bit, but you know what? They're having fun. They're not causing any damage. I don't know. I say go for it. I'm gonna get so much hate mail for saying all that right now too.
Yeah,
But you know what really pisses me off?
what is that?
They never tell me when they're gonna light them. I miss them every time. I run outside like an idiot, like a kid on Christmas morning, looking up everywhere. Never hear it. Close the door, get back in bed. It's poof, 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 poof. Damn it. Anyways,
Oh
that's my frustration.
Gives away their location.
Well, I don't think.
I still
hey,
wanna see
if
'em.
if they are popping them off louder than they ever have before, right next to where the cops fuel up, I don't really think the ones that are doing this are much scared of the consequences of that.
You know what? This year, I don't think they care.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think.
But I think with high school graduation being how it's going down, I think that's why they're doing it so much more.
Graduation.
Well, they did a drive-by today. They're doing Moreno Valley Unified's doing drive-through graduations all week. At least they're trying.
I
At least
think
they're
it's
trying.
totally ironic over the thing they built Canyon Springs. Oh, they never had a high school stadium to graduate. They finally spent $30 million, I believe, unnecessarily, but that's subject for a different day. And now they aren't getting to be able to graduate at the new stadium that was built for them to graduate. Again, you didn't take my recommendation and build one big sports complex where everybody could have done it all at one time and had a really big thing about it. Again, you're going to find out that is
That
another.
Roy was probably right, and you should have listened to him because he is God and he knows everything.
Well, I'm glad you.
Moving on.
No, and to do that, we're going to have Melissa and Murray on after the top of the hour, and she said,
Me and Jim, we're not friends.
Roy is right. That was her last thing about all this stuff. I'm always. I know. Seriously, all seriousness aside on this stuff on that to do that. We've had the whole protest things going on over George Floyd deal, and then the systemic racism and police brutality and all the stuff, on and on and on. This stuff is 100% practically, well, let's say to 98.7% BS. None other than Lisa Bender, chairwoman of the City Council of Minneapolis, Minnesota, has been leading the charge, and we're going to dismantle the police department and all this other freaking noise that she's been spouting out. And they've had all the rallies and all the stuff, and we'll play the videos and stuff. And they asked her and the people of that. So after you disband the police department and you do this all social services and all this do-goody stuff, well, what they asked one of the people that was at the rallies, well, what are say something happens, somebody's breaking into your house or something, what are we to do if there's no police department? And he said, oh, well, just call some family and friends.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, well, I guess we're just going to go full out anarchy, in which I'm okay if we're going to go back to the Wild Wild West days, then the Second Amendment is going to be even more important, because if you are going to rely on Roy to come over and there is a bad intense or a law enforcement or a dangerous situation,
Yeah.
Roy is showing up with a firearm.
Roy's crazy.
Yes, and Roy is not wrapped very tight. Because if
He's
the,
definitely not.
if the cops don't have them and you are going to rely on family and friends, well, then the family and friends got to be armed, because there's just certain situations where you have to have that deadly force of it. What if you walk up to and there's 6 guys there? If you don't have a firearm, you are in deep bandini. Your life is in a very perilous situation. So again, if you're going to do this, but here, hit number 4 on the deal. I've been telling you, and I've told you a lot about this, but this is her solution in the past 5 years, and this is why Minneapolis is turned upside down. Flip 50 years of street design for cars to create safe streets for people. Extended exclusionary single-family zoning with a history of racism, and legalized duplexes and triplexes citywide. Committed to reducing greenhouse gases emissions in 80%. Hold that, but hit the camera. I don't know how many times I've been on there and we told you about SCAG and sandbag the San Bernardino, Southern California Associated Governments, and all that. In our cities, you see all the nicely striped streets with the bicycle lanes and all this stuff. Pedestrian and bicycle deaths have went up because they're mixing with cars, and it does not mix. The traffic is increasingly worse because they've taken away lanes to add bike lanes and all this other stuff. Not only here, but in Minneapolis and all of these other places where the powder kegs are blowing. Point number 2, and this is a more important one. Ended exclusionary single-family zoning with a history of racism and legalized duplexes and triplexes. Your single-family home that most of you live in is now a symbol of you are a racist, according to Lisa Bender, and you tell me how you'd interpret that tweet that she put out, I think, today. Let that sink in. The house you live in.
So
Missy,
if I bought my house from my parents, then I would be racist?
the house you live in, you are a racist because it's a single-family homes have a history of racism. Jesse, the home you live in has a history of racism.
I don't get why. This makes no sense to me. Am I the only one that's confused on why anyone would think this way?
Yes, I'm confused.
Okay, thank you.
That's because, pray tell, guess who you've not been listening to?
I don't know who.
And
Do I
who's
know-
going to be
Do I
proven
know
right?
somebody that's
I'm
right?
going to go back
I don't
to,
think
and
so
I've
either.
cited it many times, the study by the Legislative Analyst Office of California, and a little bit of background. It is part of the California government, but it's an independent site. It's built of nonpartisan. They give analysis on a lot of things, on schools, on budgets, all sorts of things. In 2015, they came out with a study. They said, if you increase density, what you get? 1, lower quality of life. 2, lower test scores in children. So legalizing duplexes and triplexes citywide and doing the whole density thing they've been trying to do to Southern California.
So they want to
and all
rip
that.
out, because Carla wrote in that she's confused. What I'm getting is, to go back to the housing thing, they want to rip out any homes that have been standing for X amount of years because at some point there was a racist person living inside of it. And now they want to replace it with apartments and townhouses, correct?
That is becoming the new rhetoric. Before it was, you're creating too much greenhouse gases and all the other stuff. The third part of it. Oh, it's you should bicycle, ride the bus, stay out of your car. You're killing us. We're all going to die of diesel smoke. All that. Well, now they're turning it to your single family home is now a symbol of racism. There it is. Now you tell me how else you interpret that.
I don't know.
This
I'm mind boggled why anyone would even put that out there on a tweet, because that's going to get people thinking. That's going to get people pissed.
Yes.
And that's going to keep it going.
And this is what they wanted. I have told you their plan is to put...
Because you know what, Roy? Sometimes I really get pissed off when you're right.
Their plan is to put you in a
That'd be right.
100-story cubicle
I'm trying
of
to be-
200 square feet where you got to walk to, and they're going to tell you what job, how you're going to do, where you're going to blank each and every day. That's what this is all about. You can see it. I have said it 9,452 times.
I think it was 53. But,
Well,
all right.
this is going to be
Whatever.
53. Do not let the cancer of California and ETEL New York spread across. Well, let's do it for spread from the coast and kill the flyover country, Middle America, and the United States, the other 48 states, which they do. They test pilot this stuff either in California or New York most of the time, and then they perfect it and and then it spreads across the country. They have been doing that. Hassan Ekrada was the head of SCAG, which had all this stuff. Now he's done one down in San Diego. He's killing them. They went on there, all this stuff. Riverside County, I know it's Measure A. They had one in that. The 1%, the 1% increase in sales tax they spent in '99, supposed to fix all your roads and make everything hunky dory. They've squandered those billions of dollars. Your roads are in worse shape. Traffic is worse. All the stuff. But they said, you raise those taxes on this and we will fix all your roads. And they did everything but that. They invested it in bike lanes and BART trains
I
and
kinda like the bike
metro
lanes, though.
trains where 3 people are riding it on that. You talk about all this stuff. And this is the whole thing. And then they started with the density of the zoning and all that stuff. And now you're what was it, Mom, Apple Pie, and Chevrolet, the American dream was to own a single-family home, raise a family, have a car, send your kids off to college, da-da-da-da-da. They want to systematically, there is a contingent out there that wants to systematically destroy this.
But we're getting an amphitheater.
Whoopee. Yeah, the 3 people will go.
I'm excited about the amphitheater, though. I think it's going to be great. Steven wants to know what Newsom talked about today.
I don't think he talked, did he? The last time I checked, he didn't have a press conference today. So
Don't get him started, Steven.
He was supposed to open up Phase 3 last night or Friday, which he didn't. But he talked about maybe this Friday we will start doing that. Yada yada yada. Which I love.
What are we in?
We're in the stupid phase. Let's clarify it.
2.5?
Yes, we're in phase stupid 2.5. That's what phase we're in. Now I have said. And we have made videos and sent them to a lot of our elected officials, and they went on about...
Did we?
Yes, of telling the sheriffs and our city councils, county board of supervisors, get off the stick, tell Newsom to stick it up as you know what, and let's get it on. We're opening up our counties if you want to come in and do this. So I want to do this video of North Carolina. Let's see, here's the one. Okay, this is Governor... Ding Dong, whatever his name is, of North Carolina. Here's the deal. Ace Speedway in North Carolina said, we're running a race. We're going to have people in, 2,000 people, da-da-da-da, or whatever. We're running spectators on that. North Carolina's got the whole deal. They're making a deal on the deal. So here was his threat, I think, on Friday. So, we're going to go ahead and run the video of Governor Ding Dong.
Situation that ought to concern all the local officials and all the citizens surrounding that venue. All of the options are on the table for us, and we are examining those options now. We would just encourage people not to participate in that kind of activity because it can be dangerous to you, your family, and anybody else that you would come in contact with, and it is a completely reckless way to operate. We've been very pleased across North Carolina the way people have been complying. The few that do not obviously get the most attention, but the vast majority of businesses, citizens who are complying, the law enforcement officers who are sometimes reluctantly issuing citations after they go and talk to people about how they're violating the order. We're seeing all of those positive things across our state. And I think it's continued to be important that occur. If you have local law enforcement officials who won't enforce the order, then I think the state has to look at other options, and that is what we'll do. And if decisions are made on that particular thing, then we'll get back to you on that.
There you go. So he made the big threat. If the county sheriff doesn't come in, I'm going to shut down the speedway or maybe send in my guys on that and blah, 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 blah. Kind of like Newsom has done on the beaches and all this other stuff. And I understand the attorneys that come on and have done all the lawsuits and stuff like that. And I've said, and the protests and looters, I mean, what is the big deal now about doing this? So let's find out what happened at Ace Speedway on that. When after the threat,
Race there, or is this their first
no,
one?
they'd been running them at the races there on that. I think they started a couple weeks ago. They let spectators in. This is in Alamance County. This is Ace Speedway, Saturday night at the races. After the governor and the county sheriff said, you shouldn't be doing that. We may come in and arrest you guys. Da 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 da. So here we go.
It's the image that gained national attention weeks ago. Packed stands, no social distancing, and only some people in masks.
The governor's order urged social distancing but did not mandate social distancing.
Once Governor Roy Cooper caught wind of the more than 2,000-person crowd at Ace Speedway in Alamance County, he called it, quote, dangerous and reckless. Today, his office sending out this letter, clearly pointing out it's the sheriff's responsibility to enforce the order limiting crowds to just 25 people.
That puts me in a position as sheriff of Alamance County to be standing out and look like I'm picking on the racetrack, when in fact I think a lot of this is totally political all the way around.
And while Sheriff Johnson says he will follow through,
I don't have a problem once he clarified the order of writing the racetrack owner a citation. But I assure you it's going to wind up in court.
for now, the citation for running a race at Ace Speedway
is a Schedule II misdemeanor and probably would be a fine of some kind if he was convicted.
And we reached out to Alamance County health officials who tell us there have been 190 new cases of coronavirus between the May 23rd race and today. It's uncertain whether any of these cases are directly linked to the Speedway, but we do know about 85% of them are in the general population, not at long-term care facilities. And while Sheriff Johnson says he's always concerned about the well-being of people in his county,
That people that go to that racetrack choose to go there. Nobody makes them, you know? So if they wind up in contact with somebody, you know, I certainly feel bad for them.
So they went ahead and ran the race, put out a sign, this is a protest for injustice of all around the world, and no arrests, no nothing, anything else. So that's how you combat this crap. You don't take the BS that they done, just like Gavin Newsom. Every time somebody's backed him up, he's relented. Because as the sheriff said, well, I might go out there and arrest them. Well, how you going to do it now? You go and arrest these people when they said, well, we're having a peaceful protest for injustices around the world. And we're going on and running our race and everything else just like everybody else.
I think they need to leave it up to the people that want to go.
Yes.
I mean, if they want to go and they want to get sick, that's on you.
Yes. Pays your money and takes your chances.
Just like when flu season comes.
Yes.
I always slow down on the grocery stores or wash my hands a little more, but I still live my life.
Yes. It's time we start living our life. People are done with this. I told you from the beginning, the racers would be the one that would be leading the charge on this and pushing the envelope.
Again, you were right.
All across the board. And we do. We do this all the time of that. I mean, tell us we're retarded or whatever or it's a waste of time or any of this other stuff. But it's that kind of, I don't know, grit, stupidity, or whatever. But when it comes down to doing right, you do what's right. And what they're doing to us, and even the sheriff said that, this is not right, but if I'm forced to do it, I will. Well, he backed off maybe because of the sign. Yeah,
Right.
It would have wound up in court. Now, how are you going to say you're going to break up our protest and you're not breaking up these other ones
Exactly.
on that?
Exactly.
So I think they got to, maybe we got checkmated a little bit on
Well, like
this.
a lot of people are saying too, it's okay to go and protest, but these high school graduates are walking one by one with face masks on to graduate. their high school
Everybody
degree.
that has
diploma.
especially a outdoor venue, sports event, you have the blueprint to open up your facilities.
And the
possibly.
okay from Roy too, because he's always right.
Of that, yeah.
Jim writes in, now that's the true American way.
Yes.
I knew that was coming. So I moved.
I love it because that's what you got to do. Counteract. We got to counter this nonsense. Like with Newsom, you cannot back down. You cannot wait. You cannot negotiate with stupid. And it was just like that. The governor of North Carolina backs down. Every time you challenge Newsom, he gives in. And all these cats. And you cannot do this, and it goes to the same thing of this whole defunding the police or no police departments
No,
and all this
horrible.
other stupid
I don't know why they would do that.
idiocracy that's going on out here is you cannot let this stand. You can't I think there's like the latest poll I seen, and maybe we'll dig it up, but I heard it on the news today. 16% of the population favor dismantling the police department.
What?
That means
Okay,
that means 84% don't. So we're going to let the 16% that's putting this false narrative out there of that. You know, we ran the deal up out of the Massachusetts study on that, the University of Maryland study, which says just in the general population, blacks mostly shoot blacks, whites, Hispanics. If you want to go on ethnicity, same with cops. You're defunding the LA Police Department is supposedly racist or a bunch of thugs, and you're all protesting down there, and your contention is only whatever you're calling white people can only be racist. You know what the percentage of LAPD is of their cops are of so-called minorities or non-whites?
Really?
What would you say? No, what do you think the percentage is of LAPD?
Being white?
No, being non-white.
Probably 92%.
Well, no, 70%.
Ah, dang.
70% of LAPD who cannot be racist under their definition, which is totally stupid, but they're just using their words to combat them of that. So again, their argument makes no sense unless if you want to go back to this of the anarchist days or no police. Which they always had a sheriff usually in town, even in the Wild West days. But if you want to go to that model and you want to go that when it's all free for all, then do not.
I'm scared if that happens.
Do not when you guys said that are all out there protesting, the ones that are pushing this rhetoric said, well, just go call some family and friends. Well, then don't gripe
That's not going to work out too good for me.
about what
I'll call Roy,
happens
though. He's crazy.
afterwards, because that's what you are doing. Let's just deputize all 330 million people and give them law enforcement powers, and let's have a free for all.
Stephen writes in, how can Newsom sound sane if he promotes the corona and protests at the same time?
Beats the hell out of me. I mean, that's what I've been saying. How could a majority...
Jim writes in, I like this one really quick, sorry.
No.
Let's defund abortion clinics instead.
60% of you voted for that ding-dong Gavin Newsom in California. Tell me why you are not contacting, Recall Gavin 2020 that started till we had Tom Del Beccaro on Friday of that. Tell me why you, the 60% that voted for this ding-dong, are not the first ones out there getting the petitions and circulating and correcting your mistake.
Even I feel like we need to get rid of him, and I don't ever have an opinion on any of that kind of stuff. It's scary. He is cute, though.
Oh, God.
I just say that to piss you off.
Yeah, I know. It's absolutely fabulous. We're getting ready to hook up with the KMET.
They say Charles Manson was cute. Look how that turned out.
Oh yeah. Whoa, no, that
Did
was
they say
it.
Charles Manson was cute?
Oh, chicks were writing up until the day he died. Chicks were writing and wanting to marry him and all this
In
other
prison?
stuff. Yes.
Why? Didn't he murder a bunch of people?
He actually never pulled the trigger. He didn't have guts enough to do it. He got everybody else to do it. No, he was a psycho.
He had other people kill these people for him, or
yes.
he did it?
He was. Yeah, he was the leader of the Manson family cult. Yeah, he never did any of that, like the Tate and LaBianco killings. He didn't actually do them. He sent in his troops to.
But how do you see? That would be like, how do you not know that he's
30 seconds.
Hi, Sean.
Guys, how's it going?
It's going.
We're doing that. No, it's absolutely. Again, you have a chance to. You always have a chance to correct your mistakes. of that.
All right, guys, here we go.
Sorry, I didn't mean
To KMET1490am and download your free phone app today.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
that funky slide guitar music that comes in every Monday through Friday at 5:30 a.m. on 1490 The Mighty Mitt. Broadcasting all over the Inland Empire on a Manic Monday.
I always forget what day it is. What are we doing in the first intro?
Oh, of that deal. Man, as we did, we covered a lot of the stuff. Very proud of Ace Speedway in North Carolina. After threats of the governor and the sheriff saying they're going to arrest him, they went out there and raced anyway with a full crowd on that. Nothing happened because they put a sign up and said, this is a peaceful protest of injustices all around the world, and checkmate done. You chicken blank politicians that bluster and threaten but never back up what you're doing, you were checkmated. So I'm saying if you like everyone that has a outside venue or business or wants to do a social gathering or sporting event, maybe you have the model to do it. Just put out a sign, this is a peaceful protest. We're doing it. I want to see you arrest or threaten or break up bars when you're not breaking up the many thousands ones or the thugs that went in there and the looters and the thieves that went in and stole everything on that of that. Now there is something that is actually criminal on the freaking docket on the whole deal on
And make sure you come on to our show too, and we'll promote you. Let's get more people there. Why not? We like to promote good things, right?
Yes. Because
we'll be happy.
Like we did, and I want to bring up that because we didn't do it on the part of that. Cue it up again, and I want to just read this for those of you who joined us on KMET 90. This is Lisa Bender, the ding dong, dippy broad that is the chairwoman of the city council, who now they have a majority of 8 of the 12 want to dismantle the police department. Not reform it, not change anything.
Dismantle.
Get rid of it.
Like completely? I wasn't listening to you when you were talking about it
completely.
earlier. Really?
Dismantle.
Why?
Even the mayor says that's not a good idea.
What the hell is wrong with this person?
Exactly. Flip it up. This is what she tweeted. In the past 5 years, Minneapolis has flipped 50 years of street design cars to create safe streets for the people, ended exclusionary single-family zoning with a history of racism, and legalized duplexes and triplexes. That means, how else do you determine this? Your single-family home that most of you live in now has a history of racism. The one you have home sweet home on with a nice little mailbox and the flowers and the paint, and you decorated all up and you remodeled the kitchen and fixed it up and your kids and family live there and all that stuff, has a history of racism to it. According to Lisa Bender, the ding-dong and that, and greenhouse gases and all this other BS that they've been running across the board of that. I've told you that started in California, like I explained before. It's all of this stuff is going crazy on the deal. Started in California and New York, and it's spreaded. You could see it's in Minneapolis. You want to know why? Where is this all breaking out? In our big cities, in our biggest states, our bluest, greenest, most liberal cities and states, like Minneapolis, L.A., Seattle, New York City, all that of where all this turmoil and legalized looting, because they're not doing much, if anything, about it. They told cops to stand down, let it go, let protesters block roads and everything else.
So wrong.
Yes, exactly.
What if, so you're blocking these roads, and people have, this huge tiff if somebody gets run over by a car, which is wrong, and I mean, that's sad, but what if there's a woman that's having a baby in the car and she can't get to the hospital? Or someone's loved one is about to pass away and they didn't get to say goodbye because you want to stand in the middle of the road. Like, Come on, people. Have a heart for other people as well.
Yes.
Not just your own.
You're not only creating, you're not only, let's set, like you say, let's set aside the inconveniencing of people who are
Right.
trying
I
to
can't
get,
stand when people do that.
and then not only that, you are putting lives at danger
Yeah.
for that. What if there's a medical emergency and the ambulance drivers cannot get there, or some of your house is burning down and the fire trucks can't
Did you hear
get to
about
your...
the people that lit the house on fire with the children inside of it and then blocked the house so the firefighters couldn't get to it with children inside? Because why? Because someone lost their life? That ain't cool.
Yeah.
Now you're going to take these innocent little children's lives because of what? What is that going to do for you? Really, at the end, what is it going to do?
It has nothing... The whole thing is not orchestrated to that. You could see it in Lisa Bender's tweet of that. And again, it's been infecting, that's what they've been doing. And that's what they've been telling you, like with coronavirus. Oh, if you go outside or you go visit your mother, she might die of that. You're going to do this. It's just the same thing with the scare tactics that they've run against us for decades. If you don't pass this tax increase, the cops are not showing up. Well, they're not showing up in Minneapolis pretty soon because their ding-dong city council is going to dismantle the freaking police department. There is not going to be one. That's what they're talking about in L.A.
Insane.
Directing more money to social services or information or da-da-da-da-da-da.
Maybe social service, maybe, but... Why would you want to get rid of the police? Now is the time to be helping them more. Like, why would you be taking that away? Why don't you be supporting the people that keep your city and your state safe? That I just don't. I don't get that. But I could bet you anything. If Homeboy's house was like about to get burned down, or there was a bunch of people trying to break in, he's going to be calling 911. And you know what? I hope they say we don't get paid enough to go help you. I'm sorry. Well, mean, huh?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's. I mean, the insanity of that, and like, well, what do you do if there's no police department? Well, like he said, well, call family and friends. Well, like I said, if we're going to turn it to the Wild Wild West day, then let's go back with open carry. Everybody fends for themselves.
That's even more terrifying. Like, why are we even trying now then?
I mean, you which way do you want to play it, folks? You said we can't have the guns, or you can't have this for that, because the police are the only ones that should have guns. They will protect us. Da da da. Now the police are bad. Now you want to take the guns away from the cops, for crying out loud. Of that,
but you can't go outside either.
Yeah,
go buy ammunition.
Yeah, it's practically illegal.
And to get ammo, you need like a birth certificate, blood sample, probably a stool sample pretty soon. Yeah. I mean, why not? I'm just saying. We'll get there one day.
Yeah, don't say that too loud. They'll be thinking of that one next.
I should patent that.
Yeah, we that. And we for on this Manic Monday, we have one of our longtime guests. Oh, it didn't. So we're. I thought you were on the deal, but no, we're going on that. But no, it's absolutely incredulous of what's going on this whole deal of that. So we are going to play the aforementioned video here of the council. This is the Minneapolis city council members at the rally doing the intent to announce and defund the Minneapolis Police Department.
Beautiful woman.
It's very nice.
I'm just happy that our community can start healing together.
Hey, please, bless you.
Art is very therapeutic. What I want to get out of it is I want to see all these people come together and create something beautiful. We have Joy. She's an amazing artist. She's going to be painting women that kind of reflect her and her thoughts. I'll be painting images of love.
This is kind of like a new sort of like standard that they're doing.
Reggie, he's going to be taking pictures of people's fists and then putting them onto the wall.
There's a lot of folks that are actually taking action. And I feel like that's important as an artist and us artists to create work that reflects that spirit.
Important to me because it's given me a window to express myself.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to paint walls and tell everybody to love each other and on and on and on and on, this whole thing.
You think they'll get a billboard?
Yeah. I mean,
Chalk art.
This whole fantasy
Hopscotch.
land, this trying to create this Alice in Wonderland, fantasy world that does not exist, that there are no bad people, we can just wish them away of all that, is absolutely stunning in the illogic out of it. And again, it's the very loudest, very minority that's pushing the buttons on this. It's just like that. And one thing, and I haven't done it, I haven't dug it up, or I forgot to get the link, but I saw it. New England Journal of Medicine now is saying masks are totally or practically ineffective.
Stupid? Dumbest
Yes.
thing ever? Waste of time?
Yeah, exactly.
Pollution. Trash?
New England
Dumb.
Journal of Medicine.
Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, you're doing great.
I know, thank you. God, I'm becoming you. So bitter. Angry. Damn it.
What have I said from the beginning?
That you're bitter and angry?
No, that's true, maybe. But the mask thing was totally
stupid.
Yes.
Dumb.
Yes.
This one guy the other day I saw left somewhere, took it off and threw it on the ground. You know how many people are doing that?
That is
though?
actually more. Yes, because you've got all the
I know.
viruses
It's like, why don't you take off a condom and just
and
throw
all
it in the
the
street?
all the other stuff going on
It's like
on
doesn't-
that yada yada yada, and you're doing the whole thing. Are we good now? We're good now. So we're gonna
my
bring
goodness.
we're
I
gonna
need to stop
now we
talking.
are going to
Yeah,
bring on
bring
one
her
of
on,
our
please. I need to
longtime
stop.
guests. She's got about a gazillion followers on Twitter. At Says Missy. Works for Political Vanguard. Does a lot of TV and radio appearances, but most importantly, she's on Newswire Daily with Stephanie and Roy. Melissa and Murray, welcome to the show.
Good to be on with you guys.
Did you see the tweet of Lisa Bender, the ding-dong head of the city council of Minneapolis, notwithstanding the whole dismantling the police department thing, but now your single-family home is now a symbol of history and racism of that. What's your reaction to that?
I just saw it, and I have no reaction. I don't even know how you react to that. It's just mind blowing to me. What does Stephanie think?
I don't even get how they even came up with that. I think it's insane. I'm still trying to figure it out.
I mean, some of this logic and reasoning is just, no matter what side of the political aisle you're on, it's just nuts. It's literally nuts.
Again,
and people are running towns and cities and things, and I'm like, what? What are you saying?
Exactly. See, I'm not the only one, because when you first threw it up there, I'm like, I don't even get it.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Read it, look at it again. I still don't get it. I don't even understand what they're trying to say. I really don't. How about you, Roy? What do you think?
Oh, I said that. It is. They went through the whole gamut of how we're going to do, how we're turning. They did it in Minneapolis. She's bragging about how we made bicycle lanes, and we're your single family home is a history of racism, and that's why we did duplexes and triplexes and greenhouse gases and stuff. Where did this stuff start? You know exactly where it started.
Exactly. Well, that to me, it's going down the path of this is all the New World Order and wanting everybody to live in multifamily dwellings like they did in communism in Russia, 30, 40 years ago. That's what people lived in. They lived in public housing. So your footprint was really small, right? And your contribution was dictated by the state. And everybody lived in the same exact, living standard was the same for everybody just about, except for the oligarchy in Russia. I mean, do we have to look very far if they're traveling down that path, that's what comes to my mind is the former USSR.
Exactly. And I want to get your take because I don't know if you hit the first part of the program, but at Ace Speedway, North Carolina, ran a race, 2,000 people. They ran them the week before. The governor, I think on Thursday, made a big threat, if the county sheriff doesn't go out there and break this up, I might send in the cops, the state police force, da-da-da. The county sheriff said, well, I might do that. They went ahead and ran the race Saturday and put out a sign. This is a peaceful protest against injustices all across the world. Nobody said nothing. I'm saying this is possibly the avenue for all events to be opened up, everything. Put a sign out, this is a peaceful protest for injustices all across the world, because how are they going, I think they thought, how are we going to arrest or bust this one up when we haven't been doing anything else and letting all this other crap go on?
Exactly.
Exactly. I mean, what do you say to that? I mean, I don't know. Like, you wake up every day and you think things can't get worse. Things can't get more nutty. Things can't get more crazy. Mayors, whether they're Republicans, Democrats, doesn't really matter. They're like deer in the headlights, letting all kinds of stuff happen. I mean, I just don't understand. It's like they've just forgotten how to lead, and they're scared to lead too. And I don't know where this is going to go. I have no idea.
The next one I want to get to, and that is, it came down to Yucaipa, California, and give me my screen, or there you go. Yeah, Yucaipa, California. We had a little incident over there over the weekend and stuff. First, some protesters were raising a ruckus, so it broke into a fight at AM, PM on that. But so because they were making threats of we're going to run the businesses all up and down the deal. So this is from the Press Enterprise. You're seeing the pictures out there of that. So some of the business owners across Yucaipa, kind of like the 92, and I think down in L.A., down in Koreatown or whatever, where they were standing on their buildings with guns on that. The Yucaipa dudes on some of their businesses were just patrolling the roofs of their buildings with their firearms and stuff. And consequently, no such looting or riots or anything broke out in Yucaipa.
That's right.
The sheriff's department is investigating or doing that or saying going across the deal. Councilman Bobby Duncan of Yucaipa said Wednesday that business owners have become aware of the Facebook post that suggested looters shift their focus from San Bernardino County to Redlands and Yucaipa. Then images posted on social media showed men on rooftops in front of Yucaipa businesses on Monday night. Business owners armed themselves to make sure their businesses were not torched and burned. It's perfectly legal, Duncan said. I can't agree more. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, give legal advice, but if we lose our right to protect ourselves, our lives, and our property, then we've lost everything.
Absolutely. I mean, we're fully loaded here in my household, so and have been, because you just go through one situation, like we had, for instance, when the when we had the, I don't remember, in Southern California there was the blackout that happened, and most of the neighbors were getting along great. Other people were going wacky, nuts. I had a guy go nuts on our household, and you couldn't even. Police were responding to so many people at one time. You didn't have your own protection. Is a scary feeling for sure, and I have to tell you, you just go through one experience like that, and you go, I need to protect myself. And after that, our kids knew how to shoot guns, everything. I mean, it was a very scary night that happened in my household. Someday I'll have to share with you everything that happened that night, but it was very scary. And but it was less scary because we did have our protection. We thought, well, the police aren't coming, but at least we are protected from nutty people that are going crazy right now. And I think, look at what's happening. People are wishing they had firearms. People that live in Santa Monica, I know, wishing they had firearms. It takes them 5 days to get anything in the state.
5 days? You're lucky. Yeah. Tell me where you can get. I'd like to know where that is because it seems like it takes like. What did you say about getting it? Oh, you're going to have a stool test to buy ammunition in California here. That was Stephanie's little vignette that she threw in there earlier on that.
Well, now you need a birth certificate.
It's so weird coming from a state now in Arizona where you can just go out and get a gun. It's like you realize how important being able to protect yourself is. And if they start defunding the police, I mean, this right will become even more important. I mean, we'll all become expert marksmen. And, the weirder thing about that is defunding the police. It's going to hurt the poor and middle class the most.
Yes.
I mean, everybody else is going
and
to
that's
have,
what they want to do.
Private security. You think people are going to, wealthy people have armed guards. They have gated communities with armed guards. I mean, wealthy people, they seem all in on this defunding. I'm like, oh, so are you going to, you don't need the police. You have your own security force.
Correct.
And they probably have guns. I mean, you just need to go through one experience and you think, I want to have a gun, So I think that gun sales will be way up.
They are. They already are. They're going through the roof.
And if California does anything to deter more gun right ownership, I mean, maybe that will be something that they can use in the next election to say, hey, we want saner people in, because if you guys aren't going to protect us, we got to protect ourselves.
Yeah,
that's just crazy.
It's all the whole stupid stuff of what's going on that. To bring it back to Bender and that stuff, and kind of do this with the police department, that they had the big rally, and it looks like they're going to defund because the majority of their council. And they asked, well, one of them, well, what would you do if the police department was dismantled? They said, well, call family and friends. Well, and I think it's the case in Arizona is an open carry. Yeah, is an open carry, in Arizona, yeah. And that's why I'm saying, fine, if that's what you want to do, then let's go back to the Wild West days. We'll all
I'm never going to make it.
We will protect ourselves on that. So that if you're going to go there, if you don't, first they said, well, if you take all the guns away from the people or this, or you can't have an AR-15 or whatever, da-da-da-da-da. Now they want to take the guns away. They're going to take the guns away from the cops. They're just going to eliminate them. So now that was their thing, only you don't need a gun, the cops will protect us. Now the cops can't protect us, so we'll take the guns away from the cops. Now how is that going to work out? If you and I say, okay, if you want
wait a minute, that's going to work out just as good as your reusable bags. So,
yes!
the reusable bags are gone now. You're not allowed to use them. I mean, remember that California did that. You got to have the reusable bags. Now that's gone.
Yeah, not gone. They backtracked on it and said, oh, these reusable ones are causing more viruses. We got to go back to the plastic bags.
But you know what?
Killing us all.
They were still charging you for the other bags.
Yes. Don't you know they're systematically screwing you every left way, sideways, and every day, but 9 times on Sunday.
So wait a minute. Everything we have fought for, Roy, is coming into play. Whether it's the stupid plastic bags or the or your ability to arm yourself.
Yes.
See, everybody thought school choice. Oh, now most of America's homeschooled. Oh, it's not so nutty, is it?
Yeah. What's so bad about
you have riots. Oh, we should be able to protect ourselves. Everything that we've always said, we self-reliance, all these things that we've stood for all these years is really in full vision right now. I tell you that for sure. If you got to see that you need the right to bear arms now, and 2A is one of the most important things in the Constitution. I don't know what else is going to alarm you, but they want to defund police or scale them back. Look what just happened in Chicago this weekend. One of the worst weekends ever.
Yeah.
You know why? Police are like, I don't know if I want to go and do anything. I mean, this is what you're going to end up with. People are, you have got to take care of yourself and your family.
I think the cops ought to just have when they go on strike, they just have what they call the blue flu. They ought to just, maybe have a case of the blue flu come on and just let people kind of see how it works out when just the cops just don't show up.
Can I get a memo
That's a scary
when
idea.
that happens?
I mean,
I'm going to go
honestly, it's so
visit Melissa
scary.
when you do that in Arizona.
Well, I mean, it makes about as much sense. So if this is really what you're talking about and all that, well, let's just give it a trial run and see how it works out.
Well, I tell you what, we had one incident in Arizona, and the governor locked down the whole state. I mean, they had armored vehicles in. They didn't mess around. And guess what? We didn't have continual problems. And the military and the police department all worked together. Didn't have any issues. And after the first night, that was it. It was locked down and over. And now they were able to have a normal weekend. This weekend they had protesting, but it was all civil because they know that there's consequences to this kind of behavior. And I really appreciate that. I don't know what's happening in California. It's like Santa Monica. That was scary to watch some of the footage out of Santa Monica. I mean, it was literally scary. I don't know if you saw
all
that,
of it
but-
is, the bashing of all the just the destruction of property all across the board.
I saw a guy just taken out, like
Yeah.
10 people just jump him. I mean, it's like, what is and
There you go.
no
Yeah.
one
Well,
does
you know what?
anything?
It's just time flies when you're doing this
So
stuff.
guess what?
Yes.
Guess what?
Guess what?
That's why
We're
we need
out
to
of time.
carry. We need to be able to carry. the
Yes,
state.
you got that. On that note, thanks for being on. We'll have you on again real soon.
All right.
Thanks, Melissa.
sounds good.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See, that was a fun, jam-packed hour of
That was.
entertainment,
That was like quick.
information, and that you'll get nowhere else. And as we usually say,
We're
we're gone.